This brief presentation is designed to introduce you to some of the resources that we have available to you here at BLS Library. We hope these resources will make your site checking assignments easier and more efficient. Hello, I'm Lorraine Peretz, a reference librarian. I also teach advanced legal research, and I hope to see some of you in my class either this year or next year. I'm the library liaison for the Law Review. What that means is that I'm available to help you with any questions or problems that you might have while you're trying to find sources while site checking, when you're researching or writing your note, or when you have any general reference or research needs throughout the year. You can reach me at the phone number or the email that you see here. You can also feel free to drop by my office or come see me at the reference desk. I usually sit at the reference desk from 3 to 5, except for Thursdays when I'm there in the evenings from 5 to 8. So here's what I hope to accomplish during this presentation. Before we're done, I hope you feel comfortable using all of the search tools that we have here at the BLS Library. Together, these tools are going to make your site checking assignments much easier. These tools include the library's catalog, also known as the SARA catalog. We'll also discuss OneSearch, a tool that allows you to search for articles and catalog resources such as books, all in one easy search. Finally, we'll talk about resources available to you in some of our paid commercial databases, as well as resources that you can find for free on the web from the government and other credible providers. So, just like I did when I was on Law Review many years ago, you as a BLS Law Review site checker are going to learn all sorts of what at first blush may appear to be rather nitpicky rules. If you're anything like me, you may soon be obsessing over correct typefaces, signals, and explanatory parentheticals. Before you go down that road, though, let's take a moment to remember what we're really doing when we're site checking. The answer is simple, really. When we site check, we're making sure that the readers of the article that we checked are able to easily find all of the sources cited in the article. And we want that to be true if they read it tomorrow or if they read it 20 years from now. To accomplish this, and to make it easier for the readers, we develop formatting rules about how sources must appear in legal sites. All of these rules are contained in the Blue Book, which just recently issued its 20th edition. Once you understand Blue Book citation rules, you can easily read a footnote in any law review article and find your source, because all of the footnotes and all of the law journals follow the same Blue Book citation format. So, as I said, site checking really does serve a useful purpose. Not only are you checking the article for errors and miscitations, but also by using the Blue Book to create consistent citations, you're helping to ensure that readers of the article can easily use the cited sources in their own scholarship. Locating materials in PDF. Most legal sources are now available in electronic format. You're all familiar with Westlaw and Lexis, but not all sources are available in a photostatic format such as PDF. So you may be saying to yourself, well, so what? Who cares? Unfortunately, the Blue Book cares. It's important and frustrating to realize that even in the 20th edition, the Blue Book still has a preference for print materials. So this may mean that if we don't have a particular source here at the Brooklyn Library in print, or that we can't get PDF format electronically for you, you may have to do something like borrow it from another library. If we can get an electronic source that's current and authoritative and complies with the Blue Book regulations, we absolutely will do that. So it's important to come to us, either come see me or see another reference librarian at the reference desk, and we'll help to guide you to figure out whether a particular state statute, for example, we either have here in print at the library, or we can get it for you somewhere else, or we think you can cite to it to an electronic source. So just confer with us if you have that Louisiana statute or that Oklahoma regulation, and we'll help you to figure it out. All right, so the good news and the bad news. There's always bad news when there's good news. The good news is that you really will be able to find almost anything you need here at the library. And if you can't find it, I or another librarian will be able to help you get it. So you'll be able to easily complete your site checking assignments without too much trouble. And the bad news. And here it's not really such bad news. It's just that some sources, such as some state statutes and state regulations, administrative codes, are not easily available here at BLS, either in print or we can't find them electronically through the web in PDF format. And all that means is that we'll have to find another way to get them for you. Either we can borrow them from another library, or we can have another library let you come to visit them and you can look at and do your site check on site at the library. We have passes to all the New York metro area libraries, so we'll always find it one way or another. We've never turned a site checker away saying there's no way to get to the source. So just come to me or come to the reference desk and we'll figure it out together. All right, so that's enough background. Now let's turn to what we're really here for. Site checking in 10 easy steps. And step one is read the entire article. I know it may seem like, I know you all have so much to do that you're only going to read the text and maybe even just the footnotes of what you're site checking, but you really will save a lot of time if you read the entire article, just the article that you're assigned to. Context can help you identify a source, and often the text or footnotes that are not assigned to you, if they're higher up in the article, they're going to help you to complete your site checking assignment because you'll see the full citation in an earlier footnote, or you'll see the author referring to the source. So read your entire article and read all the footnotes, and then start working on your particular assigned piece. Step two is browse the footnotes that you've been assigned and identify the footnotes that you think are going to cause you some trouble. Either they cite to sources that you're not familiar with, or it seems like maybe you're going to have to request some of these sources from interlibrary loan, just some things that are going to take you longer than others. When you site check, sources are often abbreviated. This means that you often have no idea what a particular abbreviation stands for. So how can you site check if you don't even know what the source is? This problem comes up more often than not when you're site checking an article with a lot of foreign sources. So that's why I advise you to find these problem footnotes early. Contact me or any other reference librarian if you need help identifying and finding the source. Again, just make sure that you bring us the whole article because often the source is described in the text or in another footnote. So we can help you better if we have the entire article and all the footnotes. Step 3 is to search for sources like books and treatises in the library's SARA catalog. Note that we have access to these kind of resources both in print and the ebook format. When you want to access an ebook, just click on the link. You can see what it looks like here. The first time you access an ebook, you'll have to set up an account, but you can easily do that with your Brook Law email address. Step 4 is for when you can't find sources here at BLS. Then you can use WorldCat to see if another library has the source you're looking for. WorldCat is a global library catalog that helps you see the resources held by many other libraries. This is particularly helpful for site checkers because you can easily see if a local library has the source you're checking. If so, you can get a pass from either me or another reference librarian to visit the library and complete your site check. If there's no local library, you can still ask your editor to request the source using ILLiad, our interlibrary loan system. So to get to WorldCat, go to the library homepage and then click on the SARA catalog. Okay, and let's assume that we're looking for a book. I'm going to search by title. This is the site that I've been given, American Indian Law Cases and Commentary. So let's see if the library owns this book. And it doesn't. So the next option would be you can go to this tab up here, which will take you to WorldCat. And I'm going to do an advanced search so I can search by title. Okay, it's pulling this up, so it saves me some time. Okay, and there's the book. Actually, the book that I had in mind was the second edition. You'll see that and it was from 2010. That's actually a site that I found in a Brooklyn Law Review site from last year. So
I can go in here and view all editions and see if I can actually find the 2010 second edition. And there it is. So somebody has it. I click on this now. There's the book. It's pulling up information about it. So if I want to find it, see if it's any place else that I can get to, I can put on find a copy in the library and then click on this worldwide libraries that own this item. And then you'll see WorldCat pulls up the closest libraries that own the item. CUNY, Law School, Fordham, we probably would use one of those two. That we could either ask them to send us the book or we could ask them to send us a page.
Okay, so that's how you would use the SARA catalog and WorldCat to complete a site check. Now let's move on to OneSearch. Just before we move on to step 5, I want to make you aware of another research tool that you can get to right from our library homepage. As we just saw, you can easily search the SARA catalog for library resources such as treatises, books, and ebooks. But if you want to search our library catalog and all of our article databases at one time, you can use OneSearch. If you run a search in OneSearch, you'll get back books, treatises, news, law reviews, articles, and many other sources relevant to your search terms, all in one easy search. So I could put in a subject term something like First Amendment True Threats, and I would get back not only treatises on the First Amendment and the True Threats doctrine, but also journal articles, law reviews, and other articles that may have been written, for instance, a newspaper article, all returned. It's kind of like a Google search. You can end up getting thousands of results, but OneSearch has lots of filters on the left-hand side, so you can filter by search type, you can filter by year. All of this may be more useful when you're researching your note than when you're conducting site checking, but it's such a powerful tool and so useful for researchers that I wanted you to know about it now. Step 5 is to find the law review and other journal articles that are cited in your footnotes. Hein Online is a database with lots of amazing legal resources. For now, though, we're just going to focus on the Hein Journals database. You can get pretty much any law review on Hein, and for site checking, Hein is ideal because Hein has the full run of just about every law review from its first edition to the present, and because Hein will always allow you to view and print articles in PDF. In addition to Hein, you can search for journals using the library's SARA catalog, or you can use the Find a Source tool. Here's the Find a Source tool on the library homepage. Just input the name of the journal that you're checking, and the Find a Source tool will tell you where you can find the journal or database. So here I search for the First Amendment Law Review, and I can see that Hein has the journal from 2003 to the present, or I can find the journal in Lexis or Westlaw from 2005 to the present. This journal started publishing in 2003, so as I said, Hein has the full run. You can also use either Legal Source or Legal Track, two journal indexes, to track down journal articles. Find Legal Source and Legal Track by inputting and searching their names in the SARA catalog. Then once you're in Legal Source or Legal Track, you can search for articles by article title, author name, journal title, and more. If you need to site check an article in a non-legal journal, you can access one of our interdisciplinary databases. You can see here that BLS Library has access to a wide variety of databases covering articles in health, medicine, the social sciences, and more. Try entering the name of the journal you're looking for in either the SARA catalog or use the Find a Source tool to see if the library has access to the journal. Step 6 is to find the opinions that the article that you're site checking is cited. BLS Library has access to all federal and New York State opinions in print, so you might want to start there if you're site checking. Use the SARA catalog to find the location of our print reporters. You can also access PDF copies of Supreme Court decisions online on the Supreme Court website, or you can use Hein Online. Finally, Westlaw now has available some PDF images in some cases. If it's there, you can click on the PDF link at the top of the case. Step 7 is to track down the federal statutes and regulations cited in your article. Like cases, you can use the print versions of these sources to site check. We have them here in the BLS library. Online, you can either use Hein Online or the federal government's FDSys site to get PDF copies of these kinds of sources. As a bonus for site checkers, remember that the Blue Book allows you to cite to these PDF sources as if you were citing to the print version. Step 8 is to find state statutes and regulations. Unfortunately, that's going to be more difficult than tracking down the federal sources. BLS Library does carry print versions of laws and regulations for a few states, New York, New Jersey, and a few more, but we don't have codes for all 50 states. Adding to the pain of a site checker, there's no equivalent of FDSys where you can easily get a PDF copy of a state statute or regulation. So, for state materials, you may be left with two choices. Either ask me or another reference librarian, and we'll give you a pass to visit a local library, NYU for example, that has the source in print. We'll check it in WorldCat and we'll make sure it's there before we send you off. Then you can visit the library to complete your site check. Your other choice is to talk to your editor about getting the source by interlibrary loan. We can borrow either entire volumes or just sections. We'll have the library copy it and send it to us in PDF, so you can borrow just one section of a statute or a regulation. Anyway, for these reasons, it's a good idea not to wait until the last minute to complete your state law site checks, because some of this may take a while. Step 9 is finding any federal legislative history documents that your article cites. Probably the best place to go for one-stop shopping in this area is ProQuest Congressional. This is a comprehensive database that will allow you to access most federal legislative history documents, even for bills that did not pass and actually get enacted into law. Even better, you can get all of these documents in PDF. If you're having trouble navigating ProQuest Congressional, because it can be a bit confusing, stop by the reference desk and either me or another librarian will walk you through how to conduct searches and how to do retrievals of the documents. You can get all of the documents that you see here. You can also get legislative history documents through FDSys, and again, they're available in PDF. There's the bills, hearings, congressional records, House and Senate reports, and other documents. You can also go to congress.gov for some more recent versions of these same sources. And then for compiled legislative histories, so basically they've done all the work for you. For any past law, you can go to a different database which is called ProQuest Legislative Insight. So for example, if you were looking for the Obamacare legislation, the Affordable Care Act, you could go to ProQuest Legislative Insight and there would be a compiled legislative history from the first bill that was entered to the committee report to the House reports to the presidential signing statement. So for any enacted legislation, you might want to try ProQuest Legislative Insight rather than ProQuest Congressional. But either one are terrific databases when you're looking for federal legislative history documents. As with state statutes and regulations, finding state legislative history documents is more of a challenge than it is on the federal side. If you need help with New York legislative history, try this legal research guide, drafted by one of the librarians here at BLS. You can get any BLS research guide from this link on the library homepage. Here's the New York State Legislative History Research Guide, where you'll get information on finding all different kinds of New York legislative history documents. For legislative history in other states, try this guide, which is put together by the Jerome Hall Law Library, Moore School of Law at Indiana University. To get to this guide, just search for the Jerome Hall Law Library on the web, or send me an email and I'll send you the link to the guide. Step 10 is to track down any newspaper articles. Use the Find a Source tool to find out what databases contain the newspaper that you're looking for. Find a Source is also going to tell you the years of publication that are included in that particular database. You can also try going to the website of the newspaper. Newspapers like the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, for example, have extensive online archives. Finally, you can use Lexis and Westlaw to get newspaper articles. In Edition 20 of the Blue Book, Rule 16.6F now says that you may use online newspapers in place of print newspapers. Just follow Rule 18.2.2 for citation form. Here are some additional resources that you can use when you're site checking newspaper articles. Just search for the name of the source in the SARA catalog. If you can't find the source in the SARA catalog and you're not able to find the article either through Lexis or Westlaw or any of the other databases named here, you could always ask your editor to request through Interlibrary Loan a copy of the article, and we'll get it through another library. So that's site checking in 10 easy steps. Now for just a few other additional resources that you can use to get a grab bag of resources in PDF. There's LLMC, which has an extensive collection of historic U.S. federal and state documents. It also has selected resources available from other countries. So if you're looking, for example, a document from 16th century England, LLMC might not be a bad place to start. Search for this on the SARA catalog. The United Nations Treaty Series collection is a great resource for any treaties that you were looking for, and they're also available when you can find treaties on the UNTS. They're available in PDF, making it an ideal place to visit for site checkers. The Making of Modern Law is another great resource for site checkers. PDF source of documents in these databases, and you can see they're broken down into various categories. So if you were looking, for example, a brief from a Supreme Court case in 1850, you could go to the Making of the Modern Law U.S. Supreme Court Records and Briefs database and pull up that brief in PDF to complete your site check. And finally, two general resources that might help you in your site checking: Beaver's Dictionary of Legal Citations and Cardick's Index to Legal Abbreviations. Both will help you figure out some of those strange abbreviations that you see in footnotes and in the text of legal journals. So if you see a citation to a journal BDF and might have no idea what the BDF journal is, you could look it up in Beavers and then you can go ahead and complete your site check. One last tip: don't drive yourself crazy site checking. Follow the steps that I've laid out in this presentation and make sure you get site checking early enough that you can complete the process without running around at midnight on the last night. Make sure that you've left enough time to have your editor request sources through Iliad or to get library passes if you need to make a library visit. And most importantly, if you're stuck, ask for help. I'm at the reference desk. You can come see me in my office, and you can also feel free to call me or email me if that works better for you. I'm happy to help. I look forward to working with all of you this year, and good luck with your site checking.